Mhm.
So Allison, I do have to jump off in about 25 minutes. I have another one. I'm on my way to town for a 10 o'clock.
Okay.
I have to leave here by 10 to get there by 10:30. And,
Okay.
I'm looking for someone that has one of the burners. Had a discussion with Peachtree Golf Course yesterday. They have a problem with getting rid of their material. They would like to see one of the gas burners. Does anyone have one? Know where I can see one? Set them up for a demonstration.
A gas.
And it's one of the, it's on a trailer.
Do you mean one of those like air curtain burners?
Yes, the air curtain
Okay.
burners.
Gosh, I remember hearing a long time ago.
Fire?
That's a great question for Cal Fire. I don't know.
Yep. I remember seeing a video showing how well they worked, and I'll put my thinking cap on.
So
But
That'd be great.
Nevada County is looking at getting a hold of one, so they might have the insight on how to do that.
Who's the contact up there, Chris?
would it be the Fire Safe Council?
Or
I
Cal
know.
Fire?
Yeah, I think the I'm trying to think the meeting. Probably
I know I've talked to the
maybe
RCD,
Jamie Jones at the Fire Safe Council, maybe.
and I think the RCD over there is interested in it too. So
Yeah, that would be Sabrina Nicholson. I can't remember which was spearheading that conversation.
Okay. I'll make a call, see what I can find. Thank you.
okay. Great. Well, let's this is all great. Let's officially kick off the meeting because I think we're kind of coming to our participant numbers are evening out here. I see 23, so that's great turnout for today. But yeah, welcome everyone. Really glad to see all these faces here. And like we were saying a few minutes ago, a lot of good cheery faces. That's great. I think it's a combination of the rain and some sun, and just things are hopefully going well for everyone. So anyway, welcome. Let's jump on into the meeting, to the agenda. We were kind of just going over that just now, but if anyone else has adjustments, additions to the agenda. I know Randy, was that the only thing you had, the air curtain burner? Did you have anything else?
No, the only thing that strikes me is there's going to be money coming once the president signs a document. There are funds available, and we're going to do everything we can to find it. Is that correct, Allison?
Yes.
And move it towards Yuba County.
Yes, there is a lot of money.
Speaking of those funds, we're looking at that FEMA hazard mitigation grant. So we'll let you know how that rolls.
Good.
Any other comments, additions to the agenda, or we can move on? I think that was getting ahead of myself, but yeah. Okay, great. Hearing none, let's roll into public comment. Those comments were great, kind of segue. And yeah, we can talk about grants and stuff a little bit later too. I have that on my agenda, but yeah, any public comment, anyone who is not on the agenda, anyone with announcements you'd like to share with the group, feel free to, let's try just unmuting now. If we end up talking over ourselves, we can try the raised hand function, but go ahead and speak up if you got an announcement or a comment.
I've got one. Allison, is this a good time for me to jump in?
Sure. Hi, Jamie. Welcome.
Hey, guys, I don't live in Yuba County, but I'm Jamie Irvin. I help coordinate the Yuba Bear Burn Cooperative, which is a prescribed burn association for landowners. That is, most folks are based in Nevada County, but we have some landowners in our group down in the kind of, I guess, northeastern end of Yuba. Anyway, we got a grant this past year to support prescribed fire workshops for private landowners and to support equipment for prescribed burning. So we have a gear trailer that we're going to have in operation for people to use with like drip torches and some water equipment. And we're helping a bunch of landowners in the area get burn plans to do prescribed burns right now. But anyway, I'm in the process of trying to schedule workshops for the next year or so, and our project area includes a big chunk of Yuba County. And so wanted to just throw it out there that I'm interested and the group's interested in hosting some sort of workshop for landowners that would be based in Yuba County and would have an emphasis on that community and maybe in partnership with some sort of local group. I'm not really sure. Since I'm not based down there, I wanted to use this meeting as just a moment to say hey, and then send you my contact info and some info about the group. But just wanted to call out. We'd love to do a workshop and love to work with any landowners that you know who are thinking of doing kind of lower complexity prescribed burns. And I'm Jamie Irvin, and I'll paste some info in the chat too.
All right, Jamie, this is Kathy LeBlanc with Camptonville Community Partnership. Allison, if you could forward me Jamie's info, or she has my email. We're very interested. So I'll in Camptonville, we'll let you know.
Okay, great.
And Jamie, I'd love to see the map, what area it takes on. I can tell you that both Alice and I would be more than happy to host that meeting of community. So get that map to us and we'll go out and knock on some doors and I'll find some people.
Hey, yeah, well, I mean, it's just the forested portion of Yuba County, you know, whatever counts as the Yuba Watershed.
So
So
that'll extend over as far as Brownsville?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely.
great.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, I think Randy just said it, but yeah, we would love to see more workshops and more prescribed burning over this neck of the woods. So yeah, we'll definitely be in touch.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll paste some info in the chat and we'll follow up with the two of you that I just heard from.
Awesome.
We're going to come.
And when this individual runs up to you and gets how close?
I would say
Is that a
within
comment?
I did not.
I'm gonna mute someone here. That
Okay. I have
is that Art? Are you saying something?
I'm on.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was a comment. All right. Anyone else on public comment today? All right. Well, hearing none. Thanks so much, Jamie and everyone. Next up on our agenda, I am really pleased to welcome some special guests here today. We have Lisa Strange and Sally Kim Westlake. They're from the California Department of Insurance. And also a big thanks, shout out to Ronnie Isaac for connecting us with them. She comes to a lot of our meetings here and helped us make this connection. So Lisa and Sally will be sharing some info with us on the current state of homeowners insurance as it pertains to wildfire and wildfire risk in our area, and as well as some updates from the Department of Insurance or kind of a look at where things are headed. So we will, for this presentation, we'll ask that you put any questions in the chat, and then I'll be monitoring those as we go, and we'll make sure we get them answered. So I will let them properly introduce themselves, but please do join me in welcoming Lisa Strange, who is the Northern California Outreach Manager at the California Department of Insurance, and Sally Kim Westlake, who's an Associate Insurance Compliance Officer, also at the California Department of Insurance. So thank you so much, Lisa and Sally. Welcome, and feel free to take it away.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay? Great,
Yes.
thank you. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Allison, for the introduction. And thank you, Yuba Watershed Protection and Fire Safe Council for inviting the California Department of Insurance to share with you all what we're doing as when it comes to homeowners insurance. So just kind of wanted to start with an overview of the commissioner. And under Prop 103, Californians elect the insurance commissioner. And Commissioner Ricardo Lara was elected into office in 2019. And the role of the insurance commissioner is kind of threefold. So first one is to protect consumers by ensuring a fair and competitive insurance market, resolving consumer complaints, and investigating and prosecuting insurance fraud. Number two, maintain insurer solvency through appropriate property and casualty rates and conducting market conduct reviews. And third, to enforce the insurance laws of California. The insurance commissioner cannot make new law, and it's important to know that any changes to the insurance laws require legislation. The fact is, insurance is a for-profit business. California is the largest insurance market in the United States and fourth largest in the world, with annual premiums of $340 billion. Homeowners insurance is not required by law. You choose to buy it as a way to protect your financial asset, maybe the equity you've built in your home. But if you have a mortgage on your home, then your lender may require you to purchase homeowners insurance. You always have the option of shopping around for homeowners insurance because every insurance company has their own underwriting guidelines and what they will charge in premiums. Having said this, if you live in a high wildfire risk area, your options may be limited and you might have to buy a California Fair Plan policy. We've heard the term wildfire insurance, and how can I buy wildfire insurance? Well, there is no wildfire insurance policies. There is just homeowners insurance, which covers perils like fire. The California Fair Plan is commonly called fire insurance because it's a named peril that only covers fire, lightning, explosion, and smoke. If you wanted other perils covered like burglary and theft, you would have to buy additional coverage. The Fair Plan also does not cover liability and medical payments like a traditional homeowner's policy, but you have the option to buy a difference in conditions policy from an admitted carrier. Now, reports do indicate that up to 8 out of 10 homeowners are underinsured. And more tragically, they don't know they're underinsured until they file a claim, unfortunately. So what can you do now before filing a claim to know if you have enough to rebuild after a fire? Well, you can conduct an annual or biannual checkup of your coverages and limits with your agent or broker. And then I just wanted to go over a couple reasons why you could be underinsured. Number one, rebuilding cost is not the home selling price. Number two, insurance buyers wrongly equate the limit of insurance with a home's selling price. Three, following a disaster where large areas are affected, construction costs soar due to lack of construction crews, materials, inspectors, etc. Currently, it's estimated that area disasters are increasing building costs in California by 30 to 35%. Also, the necessary time needed to rebuild has gone from 14 to 18 months to 24 to 36 months, or 2 to 3 years. It's probably safe to assume that your city and county now has new building code upgrades that has to be used in building your new home. Building code upgrades can easily add 35 to 50% to the cost as well. Policies with actual cash value coverage typically determine value by taking the cost to replace your personal belongings and reducing that amount due to depreciation from factors such as age or wear and tear. Most homeowners insurance policies come with a replacement cost coverage for the structure of your home, the dwelling portion of your coverage. It generally does not take into account depreciation of your home due to factors such as age. So some types of replacement cost policies or extended replacement cost policies will pay your policy limits plus a certain percentage above those limits. Then that could be the difference in being able to rebuild your home with all of the additional unforeseen building costs. So when you leave here today, please have a conversation with your agent and ask the question, do I have enough to rebuild my home? Super important. Let's see. Insurance companies can non-renew for almost any reason that is risk related, as long as they give you a 75-day notice and a reason for non-renewal. What do you do if you get a non-renewal notice? Well, unfortunately, time's not always on your side. So, and remember, if one insurer thinks you are high risk, there's a good chance other insurers will think the same. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can call us at the department and file a formal request for assistance. We want to make sure that the non-renewal was issued legally and timely. You can call your insurance company and ask what you can do to maintain your policy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You could, is there anything you can do? Can you clear the brush around your home? Do you have a long-term relationship with this company and multiple policies? Have you bundled all your auto and boats and things? Or maybe you've never filed a claim with them. So it's worth asking those questions. You can work with your agent and broker about shopping for another carrier. And if you still come up empty, widen your search. Find an agent outside of your high-risk neighborhood and see if they can come up with a company that's willing to insure your home. Because each company has different underwriting guidelines, you might be able to find a company that is still writing policies in your area. Additionally, after a search with the admitted carriers, then you will have to consider a policy with a non-admitted carrier or a surplus lines policy. This means that the insurer has chosen to transact business in California, but do so without being regulated by the department. They do still have to follow some rules set forth by us, and they could charge more and sometimes less than an admitted carrier. And then finally, the last resort is to go with the FAIR plan. Now, at the department, we understand that non-renewals can seem unfair. There's no consideration of individual tenure or claims history, often no consideration of pre-fire mitigation and or structure fire hardening, and with no change in your property risk. Currently, there's no clear statewide standards for a fire-resistant structure or mitigated property that will make an insurance company guarantee coverage. So what can you do to keep your coverage before you ever receive a non-renewal? Well, again, insurance companies can non-renew for almost any reason that is risk-related. Your claims history can cause a non-renewal, and even if you move from one insurer to another, your claims history follows you. Now, I did not know that until I started working here, so sharing with you that today. And then 3 things under your control that you can do to maintain your property, so when the insurer does an audit, it will not flag your property. 1, maintain the condition of your property. Check the roof, plumbing, look for visible signs that need repair. Secondly, harden your home by clearing brush away from your property and clean the gutters of any leaves. And third, remove any flammable items stored on the property. Now, we also realize there are things that you cannot control, like the location of your home and whether it's near brush or a forest, uncleared brush on your neighbor's property, and most importantly, your wildfire risk score. Now, today I am happy to report on some of the things Commissioner Ricardo Lara has been able to accomplish so far. Now, I'll kind of just list these. He imposed a 1-year moratorium from non-renewals for areas surrounding a declared state of emergency wildfire. There's been a 2-year protection from non-renewals for homeowners who had damage or total loss in the declared disaster areas, but this expands on that law. He increased the non-renewal notice date from 45 to 75 days, as I mentioned earlier, because he realized 45 days was not enough to find a new homeowner's policy if you are being non-renewed for high risk. Commissioner Lara also ordered the FAIR plan to increase its policy limits from $1.5 million to $3 million. He sponsored Senate Bill 872, which removes barriers and allows wildfire survivors to receive critical insurance benefits. If you'd like to see a complete list, it is on our website, or I'm happy to send you the press release. And last but not least, he signed a partnership with Governor Newsom's administration, including Cal OES, Cal Fire, CPUC, and more, to establish statewide home hardening standards based on science. As the regulator of the nation's largest insurance market, he's also working on numerous other things. And some of those are developing home hardening standards that are consistent, based in fire science, and apply to all insurance companies. He's giving transparency to consumers about their wildfire risk score and what they can do to reduce it, because insurance companies use those scores to determine which homes they will write and the premium they charge. He's working to create insurance incentives recognizing home hardening, mitigation of properties, and community mitigation actions, and requiring that insurance companies seek adequate and justifiable rates to protect the solvency of the market. Statewide standards for a fire-resistant structure or a mitigated property. If you harden your home to a set standard, shouldn't you be insurable? And shouldn't there be a benefit to hardening your home? Commissioner Lara and the Department of Insurance are trying to establish standards that will require insurers to consider home hardening as part of rating and underwriting of residential insurance. And I am happy to report that we now have 20 insurance companies, which is 25% of insurers, that have agreed to offer discounts for mitigated properties. More information on this will be available on our website. Now, in addition to all of this, the Department of Insurance also has a wealth of resources to assist consumers. We offer informational guides on all lines of insurance, which are available on our website, or you can have a hard copy mailed to you if you'd like. We have the top 10 tips for finding homeowners insurance, which will guide you through the process step by step. If you received a non-renewal notice, make sure you take a look at this document. On our website, we also offer the Homeowners Insurance Finder tool. On this tool, you would enter your zip code and it will list insurance companies or agents that may be writing policies in your area, and the annual consumer complaint study. So do you know how your insurance company ranks? Every year we report how many justifiable complaints are filed against an insurer. Don't you think it's important to know how your insurance company ranks before you have to file a claim? Time and time again, we hear everyone say that they love their insurance company, never had an issue with them. And my question is, well, have you ever filed a claim with them? Because that's when you really will know if they're good, right? And then there are just some other resources available to consumers at CDI. So please visit our website at www.insurance.ca.gov. And last, if you have questions about your current insurance policy, a new policy, or you've been denied coverage, a claim, or canceled, or you want to report fraud, or just basically any insurance question, please call our consumer hotline at 1-800-927-4357, or again, visit our website at www.insurance.ca.gov. And this wraps up my presentation today, but before I open it up for questions, I'd like to just reintroduce Sally Kim Westlake from our Southern California team, who is here today with me as well. And thank you so much. And Allison, if there's any questions, we are here to answer. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, Lisa. Yeah, a lot of information. This is good. I actually don't see any questions in the chat. Is there anyone out?
How about if I jump in there?
Go for it, Randy. Yep.
So Lisa, I'm an insurance broker, been doing this for 43 years. You're one of a few people I haven't talked to at the Department of Insurance, I suspect, over the years, and starting with Garamendi some years ago. But are you in Sacramento or in LA?
I'm in Sacramento.
I'll be there on Friday. Do you have time to meet?
I might. Let's talk offline, Randy.
Okay, if you can send me an email directly, it's rfletcher@yuba.ca.us.
Got it. Okay.
And I'd love to talk to you about some thoughts and practical applications, what's happening, what we're doing, and of course, the struggles that go on the ground. And Sally, you're more invited again. Please come up. I'll be glad to take you on a firsthand tour of issues and where they meet the rubber here in Yuba County and other counties. We're all working in the same direction. I'm on the RCRC board. That's one of our top issues. was working with insurance and how do we battle this and what does it look like in the future? So please send me an email. Maybe we can make contact if not this week. I just happened to have a meeting down there on Friday, so.
Will do.
I have to excuse myself for another one, but thank you for being here and providing information. I think it's always helpful to the public to hear what's going on.
Great. Thank you, Randy. And I will send you an email.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
You bet.
Thank you, Randy. All right.
Hey,
Anyone else?
Randy. A couple questions.
Allison, I have a question.
Let's see. I think I heard Steve.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay.
I have a question also.
For Lisa, did you say on your website is a list of the insurance companies that are offering discounts for home hardening work?
Yes. And I can also send you that, Steve, if you want to put your email address in the chat.
Okay, excellent. And then Allison, for you, we have a link on our website to CDI's site.
Thank you.
Believe so.
Yes,
Okay.
and I can work with
Lisa,
Allison.
I have a question.
Go
I
ahead.
think. Lisa, did you have
I
something?
have a question.
All right, go ahead, Beverly. Go ahead.
I have a question about some legislation or something that was in the works as far as homes being sold, I think after 2021, having to have a defensible space mitigation review done as part of the escrow sale. And I'm just wondering if that is ever actually going to go into effect. We've been trying to work with the local real estate agents to kind of bring them up to speed as far as mitigation reviews. We get no response from them. It's like they don't even want to know about it. So I was just wondering if you had any information about, apparently it was supposed to go into effect this year and now it's been strung out to 2024. So do you have any information about that?
Thank you. That's a great question. And actually, Sally, do you have any information that maybe I have forgotten about this morning?
Actually, regarding that legislation, I'm not familiar with it specifically, because if it was going into play now, 2021 home sales, I think we would have heard about it. But yes, maybe because it's been pushed back to 2024 is why we're not familiar with that legislation. Do you have the Senate bill or Assembly bill number, Beverly?
I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't. I was hoping maybe you did and we could delve into it a little deeper because, I mean, clearly that's something that needs to happen for a new homeowner as far as knowing what their risks are when they buy a house. And I'm assuming that real estate agents are not wanting to have people maybe know, particularly up in our area, what their risks are. But I just was wondering if there was some reason why it's gotten pushed back the way it has.
Mhm.
Yeah, again, I'm not familiar with any legislation regarding that issue. So what we can do is we can research it and get more information back to you. Okay, but without a.
That would be great.
Hey,
Okay.
Beverly, I think that Senate bill is referred to on the wildfire mitigation inspection form. If you've got one, you might check that.
I'll grab one real quickly.
Hey, she's grabbing one.
It seems like we taught it at a fire safe council way back when we used to meet face to face. And it was part of our meeting minutes, maybe 2 years ago.
Memory pain.
Hang on.
Okay, it says here AB 8.
I
In
can look at it real-
2021 and then 2020. Thank you, Steve. I forgot it was on here.
I believe it wasn't going to be enforced until 2024. But it was supposed to start last July 1st.
Right.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that now that we have it's
Okay.
38. Yes, we'll go ahead and take a look at it and go ahead and email Allison more information.
Okay, great.
As we understand
Thank you
it,
very
not
much.
Sure.
Great.
Allison, do we have any other questions?
I don't see any others. Just in the chat, some folks were interested in getting, I think was that list of companies offering discounts for home hardening. Is that right? So if you just want to share all that info with me, and I can share it out with our list.
Okay. And just so we understand, so everyone understands, the discounts are going to vary. It could be as low as 5% and up to 15%, depending on what that insurance company specifically is going to require as far as home hardening goes to offer you that discount. It also, there is like, I believe one company that has said that if the community is has done mitigation, that the discount can increase an additional 5%. So again, you're going to want to check, but I don't want you to think about changing or switching your current insurance carrier to get a 5%, 10% potential discount with another carrier. Okay, don't go that route. Ask your current, if you have not been non-renewed, if you're happy with your current insurer, ask them, call them up and say, hey, do you have a discount? Because if they get enough of those calls, if they're currently not offering discounts, they may opt to in the future, right? But I don't want you to leave your current policy, because again, if you are in the wildfire risk areas, there's no guarantee that you're going to be insurable. All right. So I don't want you to just think about, okay, well, there's companies that are going to offer discounts. Let me shop around. If your policy is coming up for non-renewal, okay, make sure, talk to your insurance company, make sure you're going to be renewed. All right.
Yes. Thank you, Sally.
Allison?
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, one other question, or I guess comment more for Lisa and Sally is, regarding the community work, are there current discounts for certified FireWise communities? And if not, I think that's something that really should be addressed, because there is a significant cumulative benefit to wildfire or FireWise site development, and having all of your neighbors also doing home hardening and defensible space work.
So I can comment on that. So Steve, yes, currently there are some insurance companies that recognize this FireWise communities and give this certified communities and will give discounts. Okay. But that's exactly what Commissioner Lara is trying to do within the state of California. With that partnership that Lisa mentioned with Governor Newsom, he's trying to come up with statewide standards and then encourage that into the communities, so that if you harden your home, you should be insurable. And if your community is also is hardened and has followed those statewide standards, that your community is insurable, and then of course then follows the discount afterwards.
Okay, excellent. That sounds good. The only thing that comes to mind as far as cautionary is, I'm hoping that the standards are not one size fits all for downtown Santa Rosa versus Dobbins Organ House, because we do have significant differences.
Yes, and that's why it's going to take some time. It isn't, what cookie cut standard. It has to start somewhere. It has to start with a base, but then also be more specific to each community. And that's why we're working with Governor Newsom's partnerships, including CAL FIRE, OES, to make sure that we cover and try to help each homeowner as well as the community, all within the state of California. That's why it's going to take some time. It's not going to be an easy fix.
Excellent. Thank you for the presentation and the information.
Sure.
Thank you.
Can I just add something? Also, there have been some developments around the commercial space. So people that have agricultural properties, which Yuba has a lot of agriculture, there have been real developments there with expansion of the fair plan limits. There's been an order to order the plan to increase its coverage limits for agriculture and commercial properties. So people that have small businesses, wineries, ranching operations, vineyards, these kinds of things also are in the works, if not already done deals. Maybe Sally or Lisa, you know something about those as well, and if anybody else is interested on going down that path, we could maybe talk a little bit about those as well.
Lisa, do you want to comment or should I start?
Go ahead, Sally. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So Commissioner Lar has worked with the Fair Plan and is having them increase the limits on the commercial businesses up to 9.4 million, which hadn't been done in years. Okay, so he is trying to modernize the Fair Plan. So that's in the works. And if you'd like more information about if you have an agricultural business or a vineyard, if you're an owner of that type of business, please visit our website. We have press releases that will give you specific information about what's been done and what is currently in the works. Okay. And just to comment on the Fair Plan, is there a lot of people in Yuba right now that has the Fair Plan? Don't know. Okay. So just FYI, the Fair Plan, initially it was the limits were at 1.5 million. Commissioner Lar determined that's not enough, okay, for some of the homeowners out there with the Fair Plan, so that increased the limits up to 3 million. He's also ordered the Fair Plan to offer homeowners insurance. That's different, again, like Lisa mentioned, versus fire insurance, right? If you have the Fair Plan, all you got was the fire insurance portion of it, and then you would have to go and purchase a difference in conditions policy, a wraparound policy to make it a full homeowners policy, including everything that the fire insurance on the Fair Plan didn't cover. So he ordered them to offer this, and they're fighting us on it. They took us to court. We won. Now they're appealing that decision. So that's what's in the works, is getting the Fair Plan to offer a full homeowners policy. So be on the lookout for that. And that changes to the Fair Plan also affect, of course, the commercial business as well. And so please visit our website, take a look at our press releases, what's in the works, and we've got a great tab for wildfire information as well, readiness and preparedness. And then there's also another tab for our town halls that we host with the commissioner and also other outreach events that we do with the Department of Insurance. Okay, how are we doing, Allison, on time?
I think we should wrap up pretty soon, but yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, Sally and Lisa. Do we have any final rather quick questions before we move on today? Awesome. Well, yeah, again, thank you. Like I said, yeah, if you, Lisa and Sally, if you can share some of the resources we talked about today, share them with me, and I'll make sure it gets out to our whole group.
Yes, will do.
Yeah, that'd be
great.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you,
everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for having us. It was a pleasure. And again, work with Lisa and Allison, get you more updated information. And again, visit our website or call us on our toll-free number if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right, everyone. Let me pull up my agenda again. I hope that was interesting and useful, and yeah, more to come always. All right, so next up, let's move into our partner reports. So we have 50 minutes left, so these can be, we have quite a few to get through, so we can keep these relatively short and sweet. But yeah, let's actually, what time is it? 10:12. Joanna, did you want to jump in at the beginning? I know you have to leave soon. We can reorder this a little bit.
Hey, Allison. Allison, I have to leave also here in a little bit.
Gary, that's where it is. There's so many squares on my screen I can tell. Yeah, if we want to go Joanna and then Gary, does that work for everyone?
I can be quick.
Great. Hi, Joanna.
Oh, I was waving to Steve. I assumed you were waving to me, Steve. Hi, good morning. Thanks for letting me jump in here. Just a few updates. So the most timely one is just to remind everyone that we have a Yuba Integrated Regional Water Management Group meeting on November 17th. That's via Zoom from 9 to 11. And this is the last meeting of the year. We meet quarterly. We'll see what next year, if we still meet via Zoom or in person, but we're having project updates of regional interest. So I know Allison's speaking, the RCD is speaking, and quite a few other people are giving us updates on their projects. So if you're interested in attending, please email me. Allison, I sent you my email in the chat. We could put it in the chat. It's jlassard@yubawater.org if you want information on the EAR1 meeting. And then just a couple other really quick updates that might be of interest. Our last grant round closed for the Yuba Water Agency's Community Impact Grant Program. And in that program, we funded a new training program with Yuba College. They're developing a watershed resilience program, which will have degree programs, certificates, probably partner-based training programs and internships to really train up people to work in this restoration economy, forest health economy within the county, as well as our upper watershed. So it'd be great for people to track that and look for opportunities to engage with that program and yeah, get your kids excited to work in the forestry industry, because we need people and we need lots of trained people and lots of different kinds of jobs. So that's a 5-year program that we're helping them to kick off, and we hope will be, you know, an enduring program within Yuba County. And then one more really quick update. If you've been tracking the North Yuba Forest Partnership, which is most of our source watershed, the North Yuba River watershed, a lot of the work, the implementation work that's happening up there on Forest Service land is being funded through forest resilience bonds. The first one is called the Yuba Project. It's quite high up in the watershed. Well, the second forest resilience bond includes what's called the Trapper Project and the Pendola and Camp project areas. It's a very large project area all around Bullards. It includes the area of Camptonville, and it's extensive fire fuel reduction treatments. That financing just closed. Yuba Water Agency is providing $6 million in funding, which helps leverage an additional $18 million in private funding to get that work on the ground done as soon as possible, hopefully in less than 10 years. So that work is getting started next year, and I just wanted to announce that because we're really excited to kick that off. That's it for me.
Camptonville is excited too. Thank you, Joanna.
Thanks, Kathy.
Yeah, thanks, Joanna. All right, Gary, did you want to jump in too?
Yes, I have another Zoom meeting starting at 10:30. We'll start with the wildfire mitigation reviews. We conducted 36 total since last December. The majority of them been at Oregon House. That's 15 there. We still haven't conducted any in the Strawberry Valley or Rackerby areas. Conducted the last one last week with this information on possible discounts on insurances. If we get that on our website, that may entice more people to ask for the reviews. Any questions on the wildfire mitigation reviews? Okay. On the Lookout, we closed it down 2 weeks ago. Had a great season. Oregon Peak was first reporter on at least 4 or 5 fires this year. I think we had a great season. We were able to staff it for most days and most shifts during the week. We had a little follow-up meeting last Saturday with CAL FIRE on the season and coming up with some improvements for next year. That's about it for Oregon Peak. Any questions on that? Okay, now in RCD, there's really not a whole lot to update on that. We were still in the process to consolidate with Sutter RCD, and that's about a 2-year process. In fact, that's the Zoom meeting I'm going to at 10:30 here. RCD's next meeting is this Friday. It'll be Zoom, and it's at 9:30 if anybody wants to attend. We're still looking for a couple more board members. If anybody's interested, it'd be great to fill out the board completely. And we may have one. We have an interested citizen who I talked to during the mitigation review I did last week, that he may be interested in becoming a board member. Hopefully he'll be allowed to do it. We're still looking for other grants to help keep us funded. And we do have a couple of grants that we're working with Sutter County. And again, that's about it on that. Any questions? Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much, Gary. All right, we can jump back to our normal order for the partner report. So let's go back up to the top with the Plumas National Forest. I think I saw Jason on here.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep. Hi, Jason.
Good. Hey, yeah, good morning. Short report today. Really excited that we got some rain. I think Pike County Lookout RAWS has collected, we're showing up to 15 inches of rain, I think, over these last few storms. So really excited about that. We're getting ready to lay off some of the temporaries, but we'll still have a year-round fire resources available. And we're gearing up to start doing some pile burning and prescribed fire. So looking for good windows for that. And we'll be busy with that throughout the winter into the spring for sure. Efforts are still moving forward with the North Complex repair and reforestation, etc., as well as the Dixie Fire. So got our hands full with a lot of that for the next few years, and really trying to work on solutions for getting this timber processed, salvaged, and out to the needed places that want timber. Anyways, working on solutions with that. A lot of the mills right now are pretty clogged up with burnt timber as well. So, I mean, we're kind of elbow to elbow with the industries trying to get our timber out as well. Anyways, I'll keep it short and available for any questions that anybody has.
Jason, this is Kathy. Jonathan Cusel at Sierra Institute is doing something very interesting with wood. He was on the radio last night. I can send you his, I can forward you his contact information, but they are like repurposing the burnt wood for people to use in buildings. I don't know, through their mill. So I don't know if that helps you, but I can forward that to you.
Please do, Kathy. I appreciate that. We're interested in any ideas other than stacking it and burning it. So I'd like to use this product. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we will have a bioenergy facility going within the next 18 to 24 months, and then we don't have to worry about these things.
All right.
That's all I
Jason.
had, Allison. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. All right, let's move on to the Tahoe National Forest. I think Eric Rice is here. I also saw Gabe, I believe.
Yeah, good morning, Allison. Good morning, everybody. Eric
Morning.
Rice, Division Chief for the Yuba River Ranger District here on the Tahoe. Gabe is on as well, Allison. So I'll just give a brief wrap up here about the suppression resource, and then Gabe will jump on with some fuels update for you. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a quick shift in operations here. We went from full bore fire season to a much welcomed wet fall here. So we've had to shift gears pretty quickly from primarily just all suppression activities to getting into prescribed burn season here on the Yuba River Ranger District. We are in our last pay period here with our bulk of our temporaries. So we're starting to ramp down our resources on the 20th. Our temps will be laid off, and then we go more into our winter staffing pattern starting December 4th. That'll do it for most of our permanent seasonal employees and all of our temporaries. And then, but we will be maintaining enough staffing for our engines, and then the hot shot crew out of Bullards, they go down to about 10 year-round employees. We just finished up our round of permanent hiring here, so that's good news. We were pretty successful in filling a lot of critical positions that we were having trouble filling over the last couple of years that were really affecting some of our staffing to a maximum level. So we were pretty successful this round, so looking forward to being bulked up a little better through the winter and also certainly for the summer. So really here we've really shifted gears into burning, and I will unless there's questions specific to anybody's got a specific question for me, I'll let Gabe touch base on the fuel side of the district.
Hey everybody, Gabe Foster, District Fuel Specialist on the North Yuba. Yeah, for the fuels update stuff, like Eric said, we completely shifted from that fallen fire suppression into pretty much straight into pile burning. We didn't really get a true underburn season whatsoever. It went from red flag to 14 inches of rain pretty quick. So it shifted straight into hand pile and machine pile burning. On the whole Yuba district together, the north and the south sides were almost at 400 acres of acres of piles burned so far, which is pretty good going into middle of November. We've done real well on both sides of the district, really took advantage of the windows that we had. Here in Yuba County, we attempted to burn out in the Garden Valley, Baker Ranch Road area last week, but it was too wet out there. And that's kind of what we run into out there, is it's real dry and then it gets wet and then it just doesn't dry out for a long time. So we attempted to burn out there. They were able to get about 5 acres, and then we just decided to shift our focus up to the Pliocene Ridge area. We were able to get almost 70 acres of machine piles done up there in a couple days. A real nice effort to get everything up there. As the weather continues to dry out, we'll keep looking for opportunities to burn. We've got more piles up in the high country in the Yuba project, as well as about 90 acres of hand piles left out in the Pendola, Garden Valley area that we'll continue to look at as things dry out for us. And then as far as current work we've got going on right now, we've got a contract crew, a Loma contract crew working out in Garden Valley area right now. And they're currently hand cutting, hand piling about 150 acres and doing line prep for prescribed fire preparation, that unit out there. And when they're done with that, they're going to be moving into the Garden Point area for about 400 acres of tracked chip and hand cut hand pile in the real thick tan oak out there, as well as prescribed fire prep for that unit as well. And then you touching on the North Yuba Forest Partnership stuff, which I know a lot of you guys are pretty familiar with as well. I see in most of the meetings, but the public scoping and comment period is over for that, for the proposed action. We're meeting as an interdisciplinary team on the 19th with the new ID team lead. We're going with a contractor to be the team lead for that. Still with all the Forest Service ologists and specialists in the team. But we're meeting on the 19th to review and discuss the comments from the public, and then go over possibilities for what we're going to use as our proposed actions and the alternatives for that document for the EIS as we start moving forward with that. And then like I said, we'll keep looking at burn windows, keeping in mind that we've got some holidays coming up, and trying not to get too much out there at once while folks go on holidays and people are coming up and enjoying the high country and cutting Christmas trees and all that good stuff up there as well. So we're just kind of weighing out that stuff. But if anybody's got any questions, feel free. Otherwise, that's end report.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabe and Eric. Any questions? All right, let's move on to CAL FIRE. I think I saw Landon here. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Hi, Landon.
All right, very good. Good morning, Landon Hack with CAL FIRE, Battalion 2314. So I have kind of sitting in for Chief Matthias today. I have the Smartsville area in Yuba County, as well as up the Yuba River drainage all the way up to North Columbia and Malakoff Diggins area in North San Juan. Nevada, Yuba, Placer counties are still, we remain at peak staffing. So essentially everything we have staffed currently is what we would have in say August. So we remain at peak staffing, as well as the balance of the state. And that for now is good through December 27th, and it'll be revisited as we start approaching that date. That does leave us, we still have an air attack platform and an air tanker available at Grass Valley Air Attack Base. A second tanker is in for maintenance. So those resources are all still available to us. And we have now moved into open burning in all three counties without CAL FIRE permits required. Air pollution control rules still apply. And then obviously with the daily burn day status needing to be checked depending on the area that you're in. And I can say for my folks and the projects that we have going on, we've kind of moved back into the Reeder Ranch area. Anybody's familiar with that? Up in the kind of western North San Juan area. It's directly above the Yuba River. And so we're starting to get some back into doing some pile burning and stuff in there. But like our Forest Service partner said, that window for broadcast burning, any kind of prescribed fire, went from not being able to do it because of fire danger to not being able to do it because everything is saturated and soaking wet and won't carry fire. So we are also into the pile burning and working on our projects through those means for fuel reduction. And then moving towards the spring, Yuba County working with Fish and Wildlife, we're going to be working on some stuff in some of the wildlife areas that are in Yuba County and Nevada County to get some fuel reduction work done and some pre-established lines along some of the roadways in those wildlife areas and their road systems. And I'll be around for questions. And that would be a little bit later on or at the end. And report.
All right, thanks, Landon. Any questions for Landon? Or him? All right. All right, next up on the agenda, I had heard from Mario Clip from CDFW, Department of Fish and Wildlife. Are you here, Mario? I didn't see you on there. All right. Well, it doesn't look like he's here. Oh, did I hear something?
Allison, it's Landon again.
Hi, Landon.
I know that they have been, I don't know how much has gotten done, but just for folks in Yuba County, I know that they had a lot of work that they were working on what we call the Yuba Narrows, and that's that piece off of Mooney Flat Road. I know they had crews in there doing fuel reduction stuff, and they're also working on getting some additional stuff in there. And then we'll be working with them on both of the wildlife areas as we move into spring. Some of the stuff that we're going to be doing with them is putting in dozer lines, which doing that before the spring green up is kind of a waste of time because they just grow back over. So that stuff will be later on in the late spring.
Thanks, Landon. Yeah, he had just mentioned that they were doing some work along Marysville Road. So it's probably some of what you're talking about there. And maybe next time we can get him on also. All right, next up is Yuba County OES. John, are you here?
Yes, Yuba County's here. As far as things to report, we were asked for input on the Region 5 post-disturbance hazardous tree mitigation effort up on the Plumas. We voiced our support, to mitigate all the hazardous trees, and that went before the board. We've also shifted into not less of a worry about wildfires to the flooding that happened. Other than that, nothing else to report.
All right, short and sweet. Next up is Mike Lee. I saw you here, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Mike Lee, Community Development. So I think I did a fairly extensive update last meeting, so I'll just touch briefly with an update. So we did submit the fire prevention officer grant, and we were successful in that, it looks like. The preliminary notice came out. We haven't seen the actual grant documents or anything yet, but so that should fund that position for 18 months, I believe. So that'll be the remainder of this fiscal year and next fiscal year. We're going to send out the recruitment again. We weren't successful in the first round, so hopefully we will have better luck trying to get a qualified applicant this go around. If anyone knows anyone that might be interested, please encourage them to apply. I already updated last month on the roadside clearing grant that is working through the process. And beyond that, I guess the one other piece of information, the Measure K money that the 1 cent sales tax in Yuba County, the county administrator has made some proposals on how to spend that money. And a portion of it is going to go to roadside clearing, fuel reduction type work. So we're proposing to hire a dedicated staff of 4 to keep that program ongoing, and also purchase some chipper and truck and some other equipment that'll fall along with that crew. That proposal is still subject to county administrator approval and board approval, but that's going to be staff's proposal for the money that's allocated to us. And that's about all I got.
Great, thanks, Mike. Did I miss anyone else from Yuba County before we move on? Not sure who I saw in there. Okay, great. Next, let's see, we did Joanna and Gary. All right, Kathy, you are up next.
Hey, wonderful. I just wanted to let you know that Kentville Community Partnership has completed all the special needs defensible space jobs through both PG&E, and the Fire Safe Council has funded some of those jobs as well. And the last one of those is being completed today. So we will have a total of 8 jobs completed, possible 9. Kara is out, so I didn't get those final numbers. Not as many as we normally get, but on our final report to PG&E, I let them know how important those dollars are to our area. So hopefully we can get funded on this next year. We're also, something else that CCP is doing is that we are part of the PG&E's undergrounding committee. PG&E is looking at putting the lines underground for certain portions of California, and there's a stakeholders committee on that. So CCP has a seat at that table, and we'll keep you guys informed as well as that moves forward. The first meeting I was at was just mainly introductory and sort of describing what they hope to do. Closing in on the Forest Biomass Business Center. We are actually closing in on our EPC, our engineering, procurement, and contractor outfit. We'll have that decision by this Thursday, so we'll be able to share that with you guys. That is very exciting. It's only the 3rd time we've done this in the course of 10 years. So hopefully, as they say, the 3rd time is the charm. The other piece of information that's sort of super exciting is this CCP was, not CCP, but the biomass project was featured in a FEMA report on page 111. I think I forwarded that report to you, Allison. If not, I will forward it as the type of project that they would fund. They had some of the incidentals wrong on that. As a result, we're going to go after this California Hazard Mitigation Grant Program funding. We had a meeting with them yesterday, and we, not that we really expect to get this, but it is so interesting that the feds put our project in their book, not ever contacting us. So we're going to see how far we can get with that. This project is blessed in so many ways, and it will fund 75% of the cost of the project. So it's definitely worth checking out, and we will keep you guys tuned in on that as well. Okay, well, thank you. Any questions?
Thanks, Kathy. All right, if there are no questions for Kathy. Next up, we have SPI. I think I saw Eric here and Ryan. Either one of you wants to jump in with any updates you got.
Yeah, I'll let Ryan, if he's on the call, take the lead. If not, I can fill you guys in.
Yeah, I'm here. So our update is hopefully by early next week, we're going to have some mastication equipment move in to what we're calling the Brownsville Fuel Break, the Stevens Funds grant, just adjacent to the airport there in Brownsville, and working in a southerly direction down through that fuel break, and then depending on how many machines we've got and the weather and stuff like that, we're planning on doing, I don't know, maybe 300 to 500 acres potentially of mastication fuel reduction work, both in the Brownsville fuel break and the Oregon Ridge fuel break, and some units that would be part of the Forest Health Grant, and go from there. But that's kind of our update. It's wet right now, but I think we got a good drying period here coming our way. So finally, and we're going to take advantage of it. So one thing I was going to ask Allison, is there any signs available to post anywhere for project work like this, Fire Safe Council signs?
That is a great question. I am not aware of any signs.
So I know Steve had put one up at one of the units we did last year down below Brownsville. There was a sign posted there.
check with Steve. He just jumped off to another call, but I haven't seen any footage.
Okay.
But if we don't have any, we should. That's great.
Okay, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, totally. We can make that happen one way or the other. Awesome.
Good. That's really all I have at this point.
Okay, great. Ryan, are you able to, I think Jason sent something last week. If you're able to stay on after the main meeting today,
Yeah.
we can chat a little bit about Stevens Fund. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. All right. I think that wraps up our partner reports for today. Thanks for hanging in here, everyone. Now we're just on to Fire Safe Council reports. So Beverly, if you want to jump in with the outreach and education updates.
Sure. First, I want to, it looks like some of them are gone, but thank Eric Rice and also Foothill Fire Department for really coming through with a lot of hose for the tow chain covers, because all of a sudden they were just flying off the shelf. I couldn't keep them supplied any places. So glad to have their hose, and some of them even came pre-cut, and that was great. Also, the Elmore Cal Fire Station has been cutting them as well. Those seem to really become very popular. We've got a bunch of new locations where we're dropping them off, and I keep getting calls to refill the buckets. That's great news. I hope that on the other end, on the roadside fire side, we might be seeing a reduction, but since we don't know what fires they might have stopped, we don't really have count. We're just hoping that there's not as many roadside fires and draggy chains as maybe there used to be. Also, I'd gotten a message from Jackie Silman looking at potential of maybe getting some of the larger businesses, et cetera, in the Yuba Sutter area to start requesting those for their trucks to make sure that their vehicles were not going to be responsible for any fires. So we keep putting those things out there and hoping maybe some of those groups will step up and want to put them on their trucks. Far as any outreach, we still have not gotten back into the mainstream of going to groups, but we've been trying to keep things up on the Facebook page as far as any new information or tips for home hardening, tips for various other ways of fire prevention around the house. And thank you, Curtis, for being such a great advocate out there and moderator on that website and keeping all those good tips coming through. We are also wrapping up, hopefully, dotting the I's and crossing the T's on the 2022 calendar. So that's looking good. I think that's about it from the outreach education. Hopefully, maybe by 2022, we'll be able to start getting back out there and talking to people face to face. But for right now, we have to rely on social media and just hoping that people are getting the information they need. If they're not, if they're tapping in and requesting it, if they have questions, that they contact us through the website or contact us through the Facebook page. That's it. Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Beverly. Did you get any responses after last time about people wanting to join the outreach committee? I'm hoping.
No, I didn't.
No, well, but
I'm always still looking for anybody that would.
Go ahead.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Anyway, no, we're always still looking for someone who might be willing to do that. So I know we have people in wildfire mitigation review training. So that's good because they provide education when they go out, and hopefully those folks will be able to finish up training and and be ready to go in the spring. Curtis, also, I had a question. Is there any other, I need to look at the website, but is there like a Christmas fair at the Alcoof, or did I just miss it?
You just missed it. It was Saturday.
Okay. All righty, thank you.
There's another one happening in Brownsville. I'll see if I can find the information on that for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, next up is a board report. Sean let me know he had a last minute thing he had to jump to. Let's see, who else is here? I think Pam, I think you're the only board member here right now. So feel free to jump in if you want. But the one thing I have, I think from the board's point of view, is we did at our last board meeting, we did talk about these virtual meetings and potentially coming back into in-person meetings. So we discussed, I am going to work with Curtis on, we're working on figuring out a like a Zoom setup for the Alcoof Center so that we can do hybrid meetings. So we can have in person and folks who still want to zoom in, call in, whenever they can also join that way. So Curtis and I are still working on that. We're optimistically hoping we might be able to do that in January for a January meeting, pending how, you know, the world COVID situation always goes, but we'll keep you posted on that though. Don't count on it for sure for January yet, but know that we're working on that because we'd love to be able to meet in person one of these days soon. So that's all I had from the board. I don't know, Pam, if you have anything else you wanted to chime in. Otherwise, I can just move on to my director's report. Gosh, just trying to make a list yesterday. There is always so much going on. So hopefully this is trying to keep it short. But let's see, we have the address sign and the chipper programs. Those are chugging along. We haven't been advertising them as much lately, just because my time has been really limited since Janine resigned. I've been taking on her duties with those. So trying to not get too overwhelmed with those programs, but I am doing what I can to keep them going. And we will be really glad to hire someone hopefully soon to fill Janine's old position. And on that note, I guess I will be posting a job announcement soon for what was that admin assistant position. We're changing it up a little bit. It'll now be a project coordinator with more hours, more responsibilities. So we're waiting to hear back on some more funding that would help grow that position even more. So in the meantime, I'll keep making address signs on the side, but yeah, I will definitely share that job posting when it's out across our listserv, and please share widely when that one comes out as well. So let's see, that brings me to the funding that we are waiting to hear on. I mentioned this grant opportunity last time, but we got invited back to submit a full application for the COCO AIM grant. Stands for Action, Implementation, and Mitigation, I believe. So we were invited back for phase 2, and that would, if funded, that'll fund a defensible space cost share program for residents of the foothills. We were awarded similar funding for home hardening cost share programs. So the goal is to have the home hardening and defensible space programs kind of grow side by side, since you really need both of those elements to protect a home from wildfire. So that grant is due tomorrow. Been pushing to get that done, and I'm hoping to take a short break from writing grants soon. Although on that note, I have heard there will be a lot of funding for wildfire mitigation type work coming out in probably January. So I think this is, you know, with this great group here, this is a great place to plan future projects, make sure they don't overlap, and just kind of talk about major needs of the area as well. So I don't know if we want to take a couple minutes real quick to at least start that discussion. I hear there are some, the CAL FIRE, Forest Health and Fire Prevention grants, sounds like they're coming out in January. And Chris, I don't know if you can enlighten us on SNC. I heard that might be coming up as well. I see your hand raised, Chris. Feel free to jump in.
So yeah, jumping on that theme. So SNC will have a grant program in January. It's a little different. Well, it's similar and different from prior grants in the fact that it's not bond funded. It's actually general fund money. We'll have about $25 million. It is a forest health grant program, pretty similar to ones we've had before. The one difference is that there will be the opportunity to fund post-fire restoration projects. So in total, we'll have about $25 million, includes money for planning as well as forest health and fire mitigation, as well as restoration. The grant guidelines are pretty much firmed up, going to our board for approval in December. And we would be putting guidelines out the first week of January with a pretty short turnaround time of the end of January for applications. And so I've got it, although they're not finalized yet, I've got a pretty good handle on what, you know, how to guide project development. So if anybody has any ideas, get a hold of me and we'll talk about potential for an application.
Great, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to you.
You know, and that is one of our, it was one of our concerns, because then we heard CAL FIRE was coming out with grants in January too. We tried to avoid that overlap, but I think that the deadline for the CAL FIRE grants will be after ours. So, you may want to take a look at ours first.
Yeah. Great. Well, yeah, I know we have looking for roadside clearing, funding for roadside clearing work, and I mean everything basically. So we'll talk. Definitely. It might want to. I want to talk to the RCD as well. See about I don't know, kind of doing a joint project with them. Be a neat opportunity. So. Okay, great. Well, that's just kind of wanted to get people thinking about opportunities for other projects. I know I'm always thinking about it, but I don't know everything that's out there that needs to be done. So would love to hear from folks about where we need more funding. All right. If there's nothing else on grants for right now, I can keep moving. Let's see. Yeah, just a couple more quick things on field projects. We are trying to get that Willow Glen roadside clearing work finished really soon. We have a little bit of funding left for that. And now that the rain is here, we're going to try to get a masticator in there just to blast what's remaining, because we'd love to get that done, because that project has been on the books for a while. So be on the lookout for that hopefully soon. And then the Stevens Fund work, that's the 2 fuel breaks. Ryan mentioned earlier, there's the Brownsville fuel break, Brownsville to Oregon House, that area, and then also an Oregon Ridge fuel break. Like Ryan mentioned, those are starting really soon. I think Chai Company is also going to be starting soon on that work. So yeah, we're having that meeting later, just after this. If you guys, Ryan and Jason, can stay on Madison's lurking here in the background too, so he'll be on that as well. But yeah, that's what basically all I have. Last thing on my list is just a request for everyone as we're pushing forward on these home hardening and defensible space grants that I've mentioned. I would like to put together a list of contractors, like for roadside clearing and defensible space work and shipping, and folks who can help with home hardening projects. So just if you have any contacts out there who can do that kind of work, please send them my way, or send the contact info my way, just to, you know, have as many resources as possible to share with the community and get these projects going. So that is all I have for today. And we don't have a board meeting today, so that does wrap us up. But before we take off, any final announcements, thoughts, questions before we go?
Hey, Allison, I was just looking at the Airtable. Looks like we did get a chipper application in day before yesterday and 4 sign applications in this past week. So that all seems to be working well.
Great, that is awesome to hear. That takes some work off of my plate. It's an automatically updating spreadsheet for anyone wondering. That's great. Some technology works for me. That's one other thing. I apologize for the confusion with the meeting invites and everything. I'm not sure what's happening, but we'll get it figured out soon. So if you saw all my emails the last couple of days, it was driving me nuts. So anyway, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for
So
being
Allison,
here
I
today.
was just going to remind people
Ronnie.
that there is a mitigation open meeting today. If anybody registered for that, we're going to be discussing at the state level regulations for requiring rating factors to include mitigation, and hopefully we'll get more insurers that will give credit for that. So that's happening between 1 and 5 today. Hopefully it won't go till 5 o'clock, but the last open meetings that we'd had, you'd get 800 people or something showing up. So it's, yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm going next. Thank you for having us at, yeah, and thanks for all your work, everybody.
Yeah, great reminder on that meeting. Thanks, Ronnie. Folks want to learn more about insurance today. I don't have that link off the top of my head, but I think we sent it out a few weeks ago. I can try to resend it soon. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. There's nothing else. We will see you next time. December meeting is still virtual, but again, we'll keep you posted on if we might get to move back to in-person soonish. So take care. Have a great Thanksgiving. We won't see you until after then.
Hey, Allison, after Thanksgiving, get a hold of me. You and I'll get together with our private Zoom meeting for the update, and we can work out how to do that at the center for the live meeting.
Perfect.
I think I got it figured out. We just need to set it.
Yeah, and just kind of just test it. Yeah. Make sure I understand it too. So I don't mess it up.
All right.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.